Merry Christmas and welcome to WJTS in.form. I'm your host, Bill Potter. And it's amazing, as busy as things are this time of year and as busy as one particular person is on this evening, we were able to get him to stop by the studio. Please welcome Santa Claus.
Merry Christmas, everyone, especially you boys and girls. Santa's very busy today, but he wanted to stop in and say, Bill, so we could get the word out to all of you that I'm coming very soon. So you get in bed and sleep tight so Santa can bring you some gifts tonight.
Oh my, now Santa, you look great for your age, and I know you're particularly old. How old are you?
Well, Santa was born in the year 270, so that makes him 1,743 years old this year.
Wow.
And he used to be a little taller, but it's true as they say, as you age, you do get a little shorter. I was known back then as St. Nicholas, and not at first. I became a bishop when I was 20 years old, and things progressed. I was born to a wealthy family, and they had given me I was an only child, so they left everything to me when they passed away, and I knew my calling was to give it away. And so I started giving gifts to everyone, and it started with a family that the father had 3 daughters, and back then you had to have a dowry for your daughters. If you didn't have a dowry, they had to be sold off into slavery to work. So when the first daughter came of age, I tossed a bag of gold through the window anonymously and took off, and so that daughter had a dowry. And we continued to do that with the other 2 daughters, and the legend began, the nighttime delivery of gifts, and it has just exploded into the present day look, and the same concept. Well, giving gifts and spreading love.
Well, St. Nicholas, I guess I should call you Santa Claus, St. Nicholas. It's all the same.
It's all the same, but today it's more popular to be Santa Claus.
Right. All right. Now, a lot of boys and girls are out there a little worried whether they're on the naughty list or the good list.
Yes.
What do they need to do to keep on that good list, or maybe move from the naughty, in my case, to the good list?
That's a very good question, Bill. They need to, first of all, remember to just love everyone they meet, especially their parents, their siblings. Do just a simple kindness for them, to maybe carry your plate in to be washed from dinner when you're finished, or pick up your toys or pick up your clothes. And importantly is to do whatever mom and dad want you to do when they ask you the first time. That gets you a lot of points with Santa, and a lot of points with mom and dad as well. And if you do something wrong and you do get scolded or whatever, that's fine. They're helping you to learn. They're helping you to be a good child. And when they do that, instead of pouting and being mad, go up to mom or dad and give them a big hug. Tell them you love them and tell them you're sorry. And I guarantee you're going to be on Santa's nice list.
I want to be on that list. Okay. I might be on the naughty list now. Well, maybe we should talk about that.
There's still time for you, Bill. There's still time.
Still got a few hours yet before
midnight. Got a few hours. Every act of kindness will get you some good points.
Well, I'm going to have to do some real hard work, but I will.
Oh, I'm sure you're fine.
Well, now, Santa, you work all year long,
yes.
But you don't do this alone, because you live in the North Pole and you have elves that help you.
Yes, we have 6,873 elves at the current count, and they are all busy all year long. We probably take 2 weeks off in January just so everybody can relax and get a little R&R, and then we start back up manufacturing toys. Because of the evolvement of the toys into more electronics, video games and such, we've developed a research and development department that is staffed by quite a few elves, and they're constantly coming up with new ideas, and they work with some of the big name manufacturers like Apple and IBM and that to come up with gifts, and also then the majority of the elves are workers in the factory that make the toys and make the electronics for the children. And then, of course, we have elves that have to cook and to feed all the elves, and they do eat more than just cookies. Contrary to popular belief, they do have more than just cookies, and hot chocolate. They eat normally like we do, and so Mrs. Claus kind of oversees the cooking and has a lot of elves to help her with that. And then there's the reindeer elves. They have to take care of the barn and feeding and training and, you know, keep the sleigh polished up in good shape. And so there's lots for all of them to do.
Well, you mentioned that elves don't just eat milk and cookies. What does Santa Claus like to eat when he goes around to the houses?
Oh, Santa loves the milk and cookies.
Okay.
You can keep those coming, and you can mix in a little chocolate milk every once in a while. And my favorite cookie is probably probably chocolate chip, but Santa loves all of them, so whatever you have is fine. Please put it out on the table. And maybe limit the glass to half a glass of milk, because if Santa drinks all that milk, he has to make a lot of stops.
That's right. Well, how is Mrs. Claus doing?
She's doing wonderful, and she is very busy right now, making sure that Santa's suit was good and ready to go. And since it's Christmas Eve, tomorrow when we are finished, we, like a lot of families, have a huge Christmas dinner, and all the elves are invited to the dinner. And so she is busy cooking all day Christmas Eve while I'm gone.
Okay, now let's talk about the reindeer. I can never seem to keep all the reindeer straight in my head.
Well, we have Dasher, Dancer, Prancer and Vixen, Comet, Cupid, Donner and Blitzen, and of course there's Rudolph, who leads the sleigh. And Rudolph is the youngest of all the reindeer, but because of his nose, we have to have him up front.
Now, is there a favorite reindeer?
Well, I would have to say Rudolph is my favorite reindeer. He is a good buddy of mine, and he's saved us on a lot of trips, getting through fog and ice and things. And so he's also very sweet. He kind of reminds you of a little puppy whenever he's off his reins, and we could let him roam him around the North Pole. And he gets in a little mischief now and then because he's young yet, but he comes up and he'll nudge me and want me to play with him and throw a carrot so he can get a carrot. He likes carrots. So,
is it okay if kids leave snacks for the reindeer too?
Oh yes, absolutely. Now, reindeer's favorite food is something called lycra, and that is a moss that grows on trees up in the North Pole, which of course we do not have that around here. So their second favorite thing would be carrots. So if you would like to leave a few carrots out for the reindeer, that would be wonderful.
They would love to have that.
They would love to have that. Plus, it keeps their eyesight sharp, so we don't run into any trees or TV tower station antennas or anything like that. So,
well, now you're here today.
Yes.
And well, right now, and in a few minutes, you may be in Germany.
Absolutely.
How do you do what you do? How do you visit all these homes in a night's time?
Well, there is a lot of magic involved, and especially with the reindeer and their ability to fly, which only happens on Christmas Eve. And Santa approaches it through the 24 time zones that are across the country. So when we start at the North Pole, we will fly straight to the South Pole, but hit all the countries that are in that time zone as we go. We switch to the next zone and come back up to the North Pole and just zigzag from pole to pole like that to cover the entire globe. People think we may fly from New York to California. We don't go that way. We'll go from Chicago to New Orleans. That's how it's handled all the way across. And the magic also has the ability to slow down the rotation of the Earth a little bit, so it gives Santa a little extra time to get the job done.
Okay, well,
and with over 6 billion children in the world, it is definitely a lot to give.
Are we seeing kids being better today, or are they a little more mischievous?
They are a little more mischievous. They are a little more mischievous, and I know that parents are usually both working and they're both very busy, and it's hard to spend a lot of time with the children. But children, make your parents pay attention to you. go up to them and tug on them, like I said, give them a hug, just so they know you're there. And you may get them to spend a little more time and teach you the right way to be good, the right way to do things. Don't tease other children and don't bully, and just treat people how you would like to be treated. That's the most important thing.
Well, Santa, I know you're on a really busy schedule. We
Yes.
really appreciate you taking a few moments to stop by.
It was my pleasure, Bill. I was glad I could do this.
Well, I guess we're just going to have to say goodbye at this point. Now, I don't know how we're going to get you out of this building. We've stopped up our
Well,
chimneys.
As the story goes, Santa lays a finger aside of his nose, and with a nod of his head, he is gone.
The magic of Christmas. I hope Santa visits your house. Merry Christmas from Santa Claus, who's on his way to your house, and from everyone at 18 WJTS TV. Merry Christmas.